Good morning, this is Keith Schmidt with Integrity Data. Today's webinar will be about the Integrity Data ACA compliance solution. So how do we meet the ACA compliance? What heavy lifting do we do? So what we do is, and we have two versions of our software. One resides right in GP, and you will be seeing that version today. And we have a cloud version for those who don't have GP payroll. Maybe you're using ADP or Paychecks, or maybe you're using a different software, whether it's NetSuite or Intact or any other softwares out there, ERP systems. We work with any and every ERP system, payroll system. So we provide the 1095-Cs. You can generate those right from within our software. You don't have to generate those from within GP at all. You can print and you can also email those out to your employees that get those 1095-Cs. Likewise, we can generate print for those less than 250 employees, as well as electronically file if you have more than the 250 employees that need 1095-Cs. We also have a whole suite of business intelligence tools. So we have, Excel reporting available. We have reports, all the reports that you would need required by the ACA. We also have the ability in the cloud version to send alerts and notifications when someone becomes eligible. We mine the data automatically. We just send an email out and saying, hey, Billy Bob is eligible, you need to offer him coverage this month, or hey, your insurance is not affordable for this employee for whatever reason. So we have electronic notifications in the cloud version. You can use the cloud version with GP or not at this point, so it's kind of your choice. In the GP version only, you will not get the alerting capabilities. You do get the Excel spreadsheet. So likewise, you get the automatic updates as the IRS guidance changes, and that's in the cloud version. We also update the GP chunk files, but they would have to be downloaded from our website and installed as the update changes on that. With the cloud version, you don't have to worry about any updates. It will just be within days of any new code changes. We make those and it'll just be loaded into the cloud version automatically. So the good news about that is, risk is reduced. You're always going to be compliant. We also provide eligibility tracking so that you can know exactly the month that the person needs to be offered the insurance, the health insurance, as well as affordability testing within our software. And these are two things that GP does not do, the eligibility tracking or the affordability testing. It's a more manual process. You have to figure that out on your own in GP. And lastly, we have a well-informed support and customer care team, so we can work with you. If you become our customer, we have monthly updates, ACA update webinars that you can attend, and those are really to inform you about changes in the ACA as the IRS rolls this out over the next several years, and then it becomes kind of old hat law after several years. There's still a lot of determinations to be made by the IRS, and they're working on those, and so you will see changes, probably not major changes, but minor determinations, especially around things like, what constitutes a layoff and what do you have to do around layoff. They say it applies, but they don't give you any clue about what the rules are around that yet. So that'll be coming. So now you're thinking, all right, got a lot of stuff going on here. You'll see that our system is pretty straightforward, easy to set up and use. Right, installation and training. We also provide education. We'll help you determine your ALE, show you how to do your eligibility tracking, affordability, etc. And usually that takes less than a day, almost all the time. So this is not weeks or months. You do not have to use anything in GP. All we do is mine the GP data, and if it's not GP, you will upload your data on a regular basis through an upload file on the cloud version, and then from there on, everything is mined automatically. So why is quick deployment possible? Because our code and logic solution works without the need for a full-blown HR implementation. Other competitors, both in ADP and in the GP world, you have to have the HR implemented. You have to have their HR versions, which can be costly. You have to have maybe their tax software included to print the forms. So if you look at the total cost of their multiple applications that you have to purchase, then by far ours is the most reasonable out there. So this is kind of what our cloud version looks like. It has the exact same functionality at this point as the GP version. Again, I mentioned in the down the road, if you don't move to the cloud version, then you won't have the alerts. But other than that, everything else is in both versions. And really the only difference here, this is obviously a browser-based application, so it just looks a little bit different. Doesn't reside inside a GP. It's just you go to your your browser, type in this URL, and then you're way to go. You can have multiple individuals from your company logged in to the cloud version. And of course, the setup of the cloud version is real simple and straightforward. It just takes a matter of minutes through an email to authenticate and get you set up with your passwords, etc. So if there's any casinos, basically you are required, you're not exempt, even though you're exempt on other things. For the ACA laws, the shared responsibility applies to all government entities, including tribal governments. So there's no exclusion from the employer shared responsibility. So everything we talked about today would apply to the tribal entities or casinos, etc. Just to let you know on that. Here's a little more detailed information. I'll be glad to forward this information to you guys. So, okay, thank you very much for your time today. I hope I covered all your questions that you might have had, or you can, sure get together with Alta Vista. And you guys have a good day. Thank you very much. Bye.